Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. Figured I'd do a random stream. We can talk about whatever. Just put a bunch of stuff in the title. UFC 2022. We can talk about some events coming up next year. Iaquinta retiring. It seems like, that's actually getting some headlines. And there's not much news going on lately anyway. So we can talk about, his career. I know a lot of people always bring up the fact that he went to decision with Khabib Nurmagomedov. We can talk about that a little bit. Khamzat Chimaev versus Jack Hermansson. They had a wrestling match today. I saw the replay on YouTube. And, of course, UFC Vegas 43, I believe it is tomorrow. Yeah, 43 tomorrow. Miesha Tate versus Ketlen Vieira. Some fun fights on the card. Nothing incredible, but there's some decent fights on the card other than the main event. I'm not super pumped for the main event by any means. Miesha Tate versus Ketlen Vieira, I know there's channels and I know there's people out there and media members that I guess because of the position they're in or whatever, they'll sit here and say, I can't wait. I'm not super excited for the main event, but I will tell you I'm very excited for some fights on the card. Adrian Yanez versus Davey Grant. Sean Brady versus Michael Chiesa. I'm super excited for. And, of course, whatever you guys want to talk about, really, especially these random streams. For the live chat, I kind of have a general couple topics I really want to hit on. But for the most part, these random streams, we can really do whatever. I don't really care. There hasn't been, if the fight was confirmed, who would, okay. Yeah, but I'll read that in a second. But there hasn't really been any crazy news. So, guys, just fill up the chat with whatever. It doesn't matter. It could be something old, new, whatever. CT says, if the fight was confirmed, who would you have favored to win, Burns or Chimaev? That is a very, very crazy matchup, but I would probably favor Gilbert Burns. But that's not to say I don't think Khamzat would get dominated by any means. I just think that's a very tough stylistic matchup. And what's funny is I'm about to say that French Fry says Burns said the UFC wouldn't give him the Khamzat fight. I said that on the live chat this past Wednesday. I don't think the UFC is going to make that fight. I would love it. It makes sense. But if Gilbert beats Khamzat, you're kind of in a weird spot because Gilbert Burns just had a title shot in February, got stopped in the second round. Khamzat's on this superstar trajectory. And you look over the welterweight division. And guys, I know sometimes when I say we gotta pump the brakes or temper expectations on Khamzat, I know it almost sounds like, maybe I'm doubting him or this or that. I am just, I'm not one of these people who go crazy over something. I'm on the train, 100% on the train. But that being said, people acting like he's definitely going to starch Gilbert Burns, I think that's a little bit crazy to think. So you know what I mean? I think from the UFC's perspective, they know Gilbert Burns is a real threat to Khamzat Chimaev. And the same can be said vice versa. But if Gilbert Burns wins, it's kind of a nightmare for him. And I look over the rest of the division, and again, I'm on the hype train. You look at the rest of the division, and I like Khamzat's chances against a lot of these guys. Let me look over the division real quick, and I'll tell you who I would favor Khamzat to beat right now. So I'm going to, I think that I'm just going to rule out Kamaru Usman right now. I want to see some more from Khamzat Chimaev. So right now I'd favor Kamaru Usman just because Khamzat, don't get me wrong. There's a chance even if I was doing a prediction video, I would go with Khamzat just because of what he's shown has looked so dominant. But I'm going to avoid that. I would favor Khamzat Chimaev to beat Colby Covington right now. As we talk, I would favor him to beat Colby Covington. Insanity, I know, but I would favor him. Gilbert Burns, I think, is the worst possible matchup for him. I think Gilbert Burns has a higher probability of beating Khamzat Chimaev than Kamaru Usman does. I know that sounds crazy, but I like Gilbert Burns' chances against Khamzat, or I like Khamzat Chimaev's chances against Kamaru Usman more than I like it against Gilbert Burns just because of the jiu-jitsu threat. The Leon Edwards fight, I think it's a tough matchup for both guys. I'd love to see that fight, and I think that was perfect matchmaking. I think Khamzat probably beats Vicente Luque, but the jiu-jitsu threat again. I think Khamzat Chimaev definitely beats Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. The Michael Chiesa fight I would love to see, but I think Khamzat beats Michael Chiesa. I think he submits him, or he could potentially KO him on the feet. Michael Chiesa has terrible striking. I think he easily beats Jorge Masvidal. I think he easily beats Neil Magny. I think he easily beats Bilal Muhammad, and then he's number 10. So you look at the top 10, I favor Khamzat over a lot of these guys. But Gilbert Burns, I think, is the worst possible matchup, even though Gilbert Burns is not champion. Khamzat looked amazing against Jack Hermansson. Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. I did put that in the title. By the way, guys, if you haven't already liked the stream, do me a favor and like the stream. I greatly appreciate it. Khamzat Chimaev looked so good in that Jack Hermansson wrestling match. It was a phenomenal performance by him. And again, I know it's wrestling, it's not MMA. But what impressed me the most is Jack Hermansson's a rather large guy. You know, fighting at middleweight, he's one of the better grapplers at middleweight. And the way Khamzat Chimaev just handled him further, you know, what's the word I'm looking for here? Further, I don't know, it increased my confidence in Khamzat Chimaev against some of these contenders at welterweight, honestly. Oh, you be live for fights? I don't think there is any fights on tonight. Maybe I'm wrong. If someone can turn me to some fights, I'll tune into them. But there's nothing at least notable tonight. By the way, guys, let me know in the chat, how does my audio sound? Does it sound good? I'm always paranoid with the microphone, so let me know if my mic, everything sounds good with my audio. I think Khamzat gives Izzy a lot of problems. Could be double champ if he beats Usman. If Khamzat beats Usman, I would probably pick Khamzat to beat Izzy. Now, I think that's a little premature to be saying that. But if he were to beat Usman, I think I'd favor Khamzat to beat Izzy. I think he mauls Burns. Burns is small compared to him. But the problem is, I think Khamzat can easily out-wrestle Gilbert Burns. But that's not what we're debating here. I think Gilbert Burns is too much of a submission threat that it's going to nullify Khamzat, and Khamzat is going to want to strike. And I think it's 50-50 in the striking. But Gilbert Burns is a former lightweight. You know, he looks huge now, but he's definitely not as big as Khamzat. That freestyle wrestling and Burns is a jiu-jitsu guy, your point. Exactly. Pure strength will nullify Burns. We'll see. I don't think Burns has no chance. I think that's crazy to say. But I get it. A lot of people are very confident in it. And I'm not even saying, I try to explain exactly what I mean. But I'm not even saying I would pick Burns. I'm just saying, why did I do that? Okay. I'm not even saying I wouldn't pick Khamzat. I might pick Khamzat to beat Burns. I'm just saying stylistically, I think Gilbert Burns is the worst matchup for Khamzat within the welterweight division. Guys, let me know in the chat, what do you think? Who's the worst stylistic matchup for Khamzat Chimaev? I'd like to know your guys' opinion. Like, who do you think has the best chance to beat him, since there's a lot of Khamzat believers? My point is Khamzat will do Gilbert like he did Lee and will leave everyone startled. Okay. The most dangerous white belt in the world, Khamzat Chimaev, now blue belt, soon to be purple belt. We're going to be looking at our first ever triple champ. Okay, I think that's insanity. I don't think that's going to happen. This man is terrifying. I think he's a stylistic nightmare for a lot of guys. I said it about Kamaru Usman after Kamaru Usman just recently beat Colby. I said anyone that can keep it on the feet with Kamaru Usman has a chance, because Kamaru Usman's striking, while it's improved, it's not very good. Jack would give Khamzat issues in MMA grapplings. He is defo rolling for the leg. Yeah, that the submission threat would be much higher in an MMA fight, obviously, because there's no submissions in wrestling. But still, just to see Khamzat put on that level of performance against a much bigger guy is impressive. Lee is a black belt in BJJ and could not do jack shit. There's difference. There's difference, man. All black belts are not created equal, and Gilbert Burns and Li Jingliang is not the same. I don't know. Gilbert Burns has been losing a lot in the submission matches. Okay, but we haven't seen Khamzat in any of those submission matches, and that's top-level jiu-jitsu guys. Yeah, Burns is a lot better. Usman, live UFC card. You will be live tomorrow night. I probably will be live. I haven't 100% decided yet, but I will probably be live. Wonder Boy beats Khamzat. Yeah, I don't think so. I think Wonder Boy gets absolutely mauled by Khamzat Chimaev. And, some people might not want to hear that, but I think Wonder Boy's anti-jiu-jitsu, anti-wrestling, takedown defense, whatever you want to call it, is not good. It's not good at all. And, I think Khamzat would really ragdoll Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, which is just crazy. I can't believe, and I know he looks so impressive in Li Jingliang, but guys, let's remember that it was Li Jingliang. Okay, guys? It's not a Gilbert Burns. It's not a Colby Covington. It's not a Leon Edwards. Let's hold it, let's pump the brakes a little bit. Looking forward to Chiesa and Brady, the people's main event. I agree 100%. What's up, Sean Johnson? I'm glad you didn't miss it. This was a random stream. I just decided to randomly go live. I'll probably be live for the fights tomorrow as well. Not 100% certain on that. It seems like nobody is. I guess the microphone sounds good. Everything sounds good right now. I'm assuming. I'm just paranoid because I'm not listening to it myself. So just let me know if the audio sounds good. And if you're in here and you haven't already, click the like button. It helps push this out to more people. We can grow the community. So if you would just take a second and click the like button right this second, I would greatly appreciate it. Don't talk to me after Khamzat versus Burns. Come on, man. Who knows? Burns may submit him. We will see. The person who will probably give Khamzat probs is someone who already beat Ikram Asgarov. Okay? I would love to see Khamzat versus Vettori or Khamzat versus Whitaker. I would favor Vettori and Whitaker both to beat Khamzat. I know you guys don't like to hear that. I'm just giving you my honest opinion. Hey, Joey, what's up? What's up, Banny Zero? It's been a while. Hope you're doing well. I got a new phone yesterday. I haven't downloaded Insta Twitter. Has any news been broken these last 2 days? Not really. If I haven't done a video on it, there's nothing significant. And so unless I've missed anything super significant, then the answer is no. Strickland versus Hermansson prediction. Is that official yet, Pine? Is that official? Let me know. But Strickland versus Hermansson, that's a weird stylistic matchup because I think Hermansson's going to be looking for the take. I'll go Hermansson. Strickland's striking it relies on volume, and his striking is very sloppy. I'm not a big believer in Strickland at all. I think if Strickland would have fought Luke Rockhold at UFC 268, he would have got absolutely dominated, and that's a Luke Rockhold that's out of his prime for sure. Okay, so it's not been confirmed yet. I was just curious if I missed that. I mean, you can have your opinion. Okay. I want to see Hermansson versus Otasanya now after that wrestling match. I don't know how much that would really tell us, though. How about Strickland versus Till? I would go Strickland. It's crazy. I'm not a huge believer in Darren Till. I think he was overrated. I think a lot of people liked his personality. And I'm not a big believer. I'm not a big believer in Darren Till. I think Darren Till can win that fight. I'm not saying, I'm 100% confident that Sean Strickland goes out there and beat him, but I feel very similar about both guys, and I think Sean Strickland's on his way up, and I think Darren Till's on his way down. And then after every Darren Till fight, we see, something about an injury or this or that. There's always an excuse. Guys, by the way, if you haven't already, go follow me on Twitter. Go follow me on Instagram. It's at MMA Joey C. I'm going to go and actually tweet out this link right now. I always mean to tweet out when I go live so people who may not see it may see it on Twitter. So give me 1 second and let me tweet that out. And guys, just keep filling the chat with questions for me. Keep filling the chat. Any questions you may have, just put them in the chat. And I got to see if I can get a water up here. I'm not here to conversate, man. Okay, you're always saying the weirdest messages, but all right, I appreciate it. What logic wrestling match has basically nothing to do with wrestling? Come on, man. We need intelligent, respectful conversation. I get both of your points, but okay, a wrestling match cannot be used to determine what's going to happen in an MMA fight, but it can leave some evidence. We can see that he can out-wrestle a larger guy in a wrestling match, but MMA wrestling is much different than pure wrestling. There's no striking involved. But let's just have a fun conversation. Either way, let's talk about something else other than Khamzat Chimaev, because I know a lot of people want to talk about that. And if you guys have any more questions, just leave them in the chat about him. But did you guys see that Iaquinta supposedly retiring and he said he quit in there? I just thought, it was very interesting. Iaquinta has seemed like he's been checked out for years, to be honest. He just seemed like, I don't remember. He's on a 3-fight losing streak. His last win was December of 2018. He lost to Donald Cerrone. He got absolutely dominated there. Lost to Dan Hooker. I can't remember that fight too vividly. I just remember the Donald Cerrone fight. He got front kicked, lost by decision. Had a win over Kevin Lee. Before that, lost to Khabib Nurmagomedov, and that's the one I really want to talk about. Before that, he was on a 5-fight win streak, and now he's going to be retired. That's crazy. But you look at Iaquinta versus Khabib Nurmagomedov. People are always talking about Al went to decision with Khabib Nurmagomedov. He got dominated, and Khabib was literally just getting in work. I felt like he thought he was sparring or something. He was just getting work in that fight, and I think he could have finished Al if he really wanted to. And I really believe that there's not much you can take away from that fight and say, you know, Al's so good. Like, I hate when I've said it a million times on this channel. I'm one of the very few you'll hear from. We can't constantly elevate, you know, a loser of a fight based on that loss. You know, people were elevating now Iaquinta. Oh, he went to decision with Khabib. Come on now. We do this too much. Sometimes I get it and you can get some information from it, but other than that Khabib loss, what are his great wins? I mean, he beat Kevin Lee. You know, how well has that aged? He got a split decision win over Jorge Masvidal a while ago. Win over Joe Lozon. Win over Ross Pearson. You know, win over Piotr Hallman. Win over Ryan Couture. None of these are particularly impressive. I mean, he doesn't have an impressive win on the resume, except Kevin Lee is his most impressive. I guess you could say Jorge Masvidal is his most impressive, really, but that's a split decision, and most people thought he lost that fight. That's when he had that tirade after the fight. I like Hermansson. Are you talking about you like Hermansson in the Sean Strickland fight? Darren was my number 2 most hated fighter on the roster for being overrated. Now, since he proved me right, I'm moving the energy to Paddy the Baddy. Yeah, I don't know. See, I don't know if Paddy the Baddy is technically overrated now. I know he has a lot of hype behind him, but I don't see people projecting the level of what am I trying to say here? I don't see people projecting him as like a future champion already. That's when I consider a guy overrated. So, oh, Paddy the Baddy would absolutely destroy Gregor Gillespie, or Paddy the Baddy would absolutely wreck Islam Makhachev. I don't see people saying things like that. So in my mind, he's not overrated. He has a lot of hype behind him, but there's not people saying he's some future champion or anything like that. He's just trying to finish his contract. Who's trying to finish his contract? Thank you. What did I miss? He's trying to finish his contract. Hold on. Guys, thank you for joining me for this random stream. None of you guys knew about it, and there's plenty of you guys here. I see Paddy. Okay, I see Paddy doing worse than Darren Till. I think that's yet that remains to be seen. He's still very young. He can make drastic improvements. I think people are a little bit crazy after that first fight. It was a spectacular win, but he was hurt badly. There was a lot to look at and say, ugh. But I don't think he's overrated yet. And maybe my definition of overrated is different from yours, because I understand what you're saying and I agree with what you're saying. He gets a lot of hype, but it's not like people are saying, watch out, Charles Oliveira, Paddy the Baddy's coming. Nobody's saying that yet. And when it gets to that point, that's when I start to think overrated. Who do you see RDA fighting if he returns in January or February? That is a great question, because a lot of the division is locked up. He could rematch Tony Ferguson, but I don't think he wants that. He could fight Dan Hooker. I think Dan Hooker's probably going to want some time off after 2 straight back-to-back fights. I really don't think there's many options for RDA. Maybe they finally booked that Islam RDA fight. If Justin Gaethje's getting the next title shot, maybe they. I'm gonna be cautiously optimistic, but then that leaves Beneil Dariush out in the dust. Like, what does Beneil do now? I'm gonna be cautiously optimistic and say we get RDA versus Islam Makhachev. But I also believe that if RDA maybe waits a little bit to returns in the summer, there's a chance we finally get that long-awaited Rafael Dos Anjos versus Conor McGregor fight. What's going on, Torrin Brown? I don't know if I already read that or not. All the best fights we want to see won't happen because people don't want to move up and wait, or their friends. I wouldn't say all the best fights. There's a lot of great fights coming up. We'll talk about that in a minute. Islam needs to fight Justin. I would love that fight. But Justin's going to need some time off. I think the most logical matchup for Islam is probably Beneil Dariush, honestly. Justin just wants to sit out after one win. I do agree that's very annoying, but I do think he does deserve it right now. Iaquinta was trying to finish out his contract, then getting out, and then getting out. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, Iaquinta, I don't feel like he's ever been that good. You know, I hate to. I'm shitting on a guy, and it's not the guy. I mean, I know people would say, "Oh, you don't compete," but we can still have our opinions. I never thought he was that. I never thought he was that. You know, ridiculous. I only got audio on the right side. Is there an issue with the audio, guys? Let me go listen to this real quick. Now you guys. Now I'm nervous. My audio, something's wrong with it. So hold on. And guys, if you're watching this and you're not subscribed already, go subscribe. Let me go listen to this real quick. Everything sounds right on my end. Let me know in the chat. Does anybody else have audio issues? Let me go take a look at my microphone real quick. Advanced audio properties. It looks like everything's right. I don't see anything wrong with it. Well, I don't know what to look at other than this. Properties. It looks all right to me. It looks like it's set up right. I hear good. Okay. I only hear you on the right side of my headphones. That's annoying. You can't compete. I wonder why that is. If it's on the right side of your headphones, why is it like that? It sounded right on, but it should still come through the headphones perfectly fine. Let me check it one more time. That's annoying. You can't compete. I wonder why that is. That's very strange. I'll see if I can make some adjustments next live stream. Some other people said it's good, but I don't want to have an audio issue. I hear good. I think Kevin Holland is going down to 170. How do you see him and Kelvin Gastelum doing it that way? I think Kelvin Gastelum beats him. Kevin Holland's wrestling is terrible. Everything else on my PC is in stereo. It's very strange. I don't know what to adjust. You know, it seems like it's really aggravating to me that it isn't right. But it shows on my microphone right there. It shows everything all right. I record on here, and it does everything okay. Let me see if I can try. Nope, there's nothing there. I'm just trying to check this out because I don't want to have an issue. Yeah, I don't see any. Ooh, no, I don't. I think I just messed something up. Hopefully I didn't mess something up here. Oh, this is aggravating to me. Yeah, I'll just have to continue and see if I can work on it in the future. Sorry about that, guys. Sounds good on speaker. Let me know if you get the issue resolved, Earth Rocker. But anyway, I think Kevin Holland loses to Kelvin Gastelum. Oh, you could hear from both sides when I did what? Let me see this. Let me see if I can adjust something. But I think this took away from my microphone. I wish I knew how to fix this. Because now this is driving me nuts. Okay. 1 + 2 analog. Default. What's default? Let's see if this works. Does this work? Or is this too loud? Let me listen to this. Maybe this is what it is. Now I'm getting aggravated. So, did this fix it? But is the audio quality still sound good, or do it might change the mic? Hello? So, did this fix it? No, that's changing my microphone. That's changing my microphone. That's not what I need to do. It's not on the right microphone now. Why is it analog? That's driving me nuts. That's annoying. So I got to figure out how to use my microphone French fries, do me a favor if you can figure it out. Yeah, the audio was terrible like that. Yeah, it must have been picking up off my laptop. If French fries, if you can search, how do I change this on OBS? Yeah, it's not better. I went and listened to it myself. It was picking up my laptop mic. I wonder why this is. But if somebody can search, whether it be you French fries or Ginge, how do I adjust it and make it where it's in OBS? Because I had this problem when I first got this microphone in Audacity, and I had to change a setting to mono instead of 2 stereo. But I don't see that setting on OBS. It's about OBS here. So let me see. Joey Mike's here, DB. That's annoying. I really want to fix this issue now because I want the better audio. But I don't see an option for when I changed it before. What I did was change it to my computer thing. No, it's a XLR. Click the gear speaker symbol in the middle. Select entry menu, advanced audio properties, then tick the box mic aux row down mix to mono. Click the gear. It doesn't have that option. No, that was terrible. Maybe this. Nope. Advanced audio properties. See, it only gives me an option to adjust. It only gives me an option to adjust the volume. That's so unfortunate and annoying. Okay, I'm just going to keep going like this, guys, because just continuing to try to fix... I'll have to try to fix it later. I wish I'd known this. I'm in advanced audio properties. It works when I'm recording. Ooh, I think I figured it out, guys. Tell me if that works. I think I just fixed it. There was a box you could check to make it mono. Tell me if that fixed it. I think I fixed it. Please tell me it fixed, but the audio still sounds good. Both ears, but it sounds good. Let me know right now. Please, I think I fixed it. Guys, anyone? Yes! There was a box next to it. So when I pulled up OBS and I pulled up the settings for the mic, there was just a very small check next to it that said mono, and you had to check it off. So I checked it off, and I got everything fixed. The quality is really good. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. I just got this mic this week. This is only my second stream. No one pointed it out in the first stream. So we fixed it up. Thank you. Before, when I had fixed it, I had switched it. You know, and you know what's funny? When I listened back after my first stream, when I listened back, hold on. We fixed it up. Oh yeah, it sounds much better, and it sounds a little bit louder as well. It sounds a little bit louder. This new microphone setup, I just got it, so forgive the technical errors. All you guys stayed here too while I tried to figure it out. So keep with the MMA questions. Let's talk about Iaquinta some more. He said he quit. Yeah, French fries, thank you again. You helped me. You got me there. There was not a down mix to mono, but there was like lines of audio, and there was a box you checked. And I kept going to that advanced audio settings, but I didn't see that box. And when you said down mix to mono, and I seen that mono, is what kind of threw me on. But then I also went to my Audacity and seen that mono is I understood I had to change that when I was recording my videos. So anyway, Iaquinta admits to quitting during the fight with Bobby Green. He said, I was fully aware I was not out, and I just kind of gave up. And I think you could literally give him a new nickname, Iaquinta. Some people might call him Iaquinta. But at the end of the day, he competed in the UFC for a long time. I mean, this guy, you got to respect all these guys. He was in the UFC since 2012. He fought Michael Chiesa in the Ultimate Fighter finale. So to stick around in the UFC for 9 years is no easy task. Respect him. Never the greatest fighter. Some people like to pretend like he was so great. But, he unfortunately is now gone. I mean, it is what it is, but he was stuck around for a while. I just wish, and I feel this way about all fighters, I just wish he made some more money. I know he had his issues with his contract. He sat out for a while, and, I feel like some of these guys, they're putting their brain on the line, and they're not, they're not really getting probably what they deserve to get paid. Thank you guys again for helping me and sticking with me while I resolved that audio issue. At least he says he can win 5 rounds with Khabib. Yeah, but he got mauled for 5 rounds, and I think Khabib was literally playing with him. Khabib was just getting in work, getting in rounds. He's the only fighter to go 5 rounds with Khabib. Very true, but I look back to the 3rd round of Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Conor McGregor, and people constantly talk about the 3rd round and how the 3rd round, Conor won, but he just barely won. Khabib was playing with him. If you told me for a full round that Khabib Nurmagomedov stood in front of Conor playing with him, I would have said, okay, Khabib's probably going to get knocked out. But no, he sat there and played with him. He was slapping him. So people talk about that 3rd round too much. And I think it's the same with Al. He gets too much credit for going 5 rounds. Much respect to him, but Khabib could have finished him at any point, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. This is my channel. I give my opinion. You guys may think differently. I just don't believe that, he could have won that fight. I don't believe he was in that fight competitively. I think it was a 5-round beatdown. And it was just not enough to get a stoppage. He saw Justin Chandler fight and said he doesn't want to end up like that. I mean, that's his prerogative, I guess. I mean, he's never been one of those guys. I mean, he's a smart guy. He doesn't want to take damage. I respect it. But those guys went out there. They performed. They took some damage, no doubt. But Justin Gaethje's on his way to a title shot. So I guess he can say he never wanted to be a champion. I don't know. I'm glad Al is retiring. Can't have 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Agreed. And didn't Al miss weight for that Khabib fight? I know he took it on short notice, but didn't he miss it by like 0.2 or something like that? Or is my memory incorrect? I'll give him one thing. He was in a division full of killers. Absolutely in a division full of killers. I wanted to look at, and that's why I put in the title, UFC 2022. What fight, guys, and this is a question I'm going to ask you guys. What fight are you most looking forward to next year? It can be scheduled, not scheduled, but at least has to, you guys know it's most likely happen. Like Otasanya versus Whitaker 2 has definitely happened. It's not announced yet. So don't come up with fantasy matchups, but if it's most likely going to happen, what fight are you most looking forward to in 2022? Kevin Lee just couldn't get past Al. And did you see Kevin Lee? Apparently, Chimaev versus Chimaev. Kevin Lee apparently gets suspended for not disclosing some type of medicine that he needs. That's crazy. That's crazy. Best #1 gangster. Yes, he missed weight, but it was 1 day's notice. I know. And it was only by the smallest of amounts. Gon versus Ngannou. I know. I'm actually thinking about making a video for UFC 270. You look at UFC 270. Let me pull it up real quick. It's not like a crazy stacked card. I did a couple videos in the past where I almost like to grade a card. Like go over the fights on the main card and give you like an overall grade. I think I've done that a couple times. And it's kind of like almost, I don't want to call it a series, but it's something that I like to do. And I might make a video maybe tomorrow and I'll release it tomorrow. Maybe I'll make it tonight after the stream. And kind of grade the card. You have Francis Ngannou, Cyril Gane, Brandon Moreno versus Devison Figueroa, Jared Cannonier, Derek Brunson, Greg Hardy, Alexei Oleinik, Rodolfo Rivera versus Wellington Turman, Cody Stamann, Said Nurmagomedov, and let's see, not really any other. Mozar Ivalov versus Ilya Topuria. Great fight, or Topuria. I have a terrible time remembering the pronunciations of these names. So UFC 270 is pretty solid. So what do you guys? Khamzat versus Chimaev. Oh, that'd be a very interesting fight. Khamzat versus Usman. I really would love that fight, and I have a feeling it will probably happen next year. If Khamzat continues to win, it's definitely going to happen. I think he's probably one fight away. Jones versus Ngannou. That's been my number one anticipated fight. I have a feeling it's never going to happen. I was looking at Ngannou. I really want to travel to a fight. I haven't went to a fight card since UFC 244 in New York. And I really want to travel to a fight. I need you guys to start donating to the channel. I need a UFC 270 fund. If we can get like $1,500 in donations, that should be enough for at least my ticket to UFC 270. So guys, start donating to the channel, and the next I can go to an event. That'd be awesome. I would love to go to UFC 270. I think it's in California. I've been to New York for an event. I've been to the event in Baltimore. I've been to an event in DC. I really want to go to an event in Las Vegas or California, but it's just so expensive. The prices are ridiculous. Looking forward to seeing more of Tanner Boser. Does Tanner Boser have a fight on the books or no? Max Volk 3, if it happens, I want to see Max Volk 3 bad. You know, just to settle it all. There's too many people saying Max won. First off, the first fight, Volk and Max, Volk clearly won. The second fight, highly competitive and very close. Dillashaw versus Jan. I'm looking forward to Jan versus Aljamain Sterling. Is anybody picking Aljamain Sterling? That's what I would need to know. Otasanya versus Danny Hamilton. The legend of Danny Hamilton. You got to be an OG to know the legend. What's up? What's up, Keep Out? Hope you're doing well, my friend. Honestly, Khamzat looked great for the first round. Then Hermansson defended some of those takedowns. But still a very impressive performance, nonetheless, against a much larger guy. But I don't know how much that transfers to actual MMA. MMA wrestling and grappling is much different. Take me with you, bro. I haven't been to an event since UFC 247. So you've been to an event more recently than me. UFC 247, when was that? January or February? Because I went to UFC 244, and that was in November. UFC 247 was February. John Jones versus Dominic Reyes. I think you've mentioned that before. That had to be awesome, though. That was in Texas, right? Wasn't that in Texas? I don't know. I looked it up, but I don't even see the date. But I mean the time, the place. Also, Hermansson ain't a freestyle dude. It's not a submission wrestling match. Didn't help his cause. Agreed. Just wait till you get bigger and people start looking for you at events. That'd be awesome. If I could get recognized at events, you know what I would love, honestly? There's a lot of these small MMA websites that pay people to go to events and cover them for them. I would love, if there's a small MMA website that needs a guy and they want to pay him, pay for them to go to events and cover them and get some content out there. I mean, does anybody truly read MMA articles anymore? I hate to say it. It's all about video content. It's all about video content. So if any small MMA website needs me, I'll go to UFC 270 for you. Khamzat won. It's on YouTube if you want to watch it. Brandon Moreno, just okay. But honestly, I don't know if anybody will ever recognize me from the channel, but if anyone ever comes up to me and says, "Hey man, I watch your channel," I'm not gonna believe it. I'm gonna be like shocked. I'm gonna be not even gonna know what to say, honestly. Chiesa claims he had a mental lapse during the Luque fight. Do you think he will suffer the same fate this weekend? No. I think he's just kind of giving an excuse. Not an excuse, but he's just saying, you know, he was a little bit sloppy on the stand-up, and that's why he got dashed. I do not think the same will happen this weekend. I think I picked him via submission against Sean Brady. Imagine Sterling actually won. That'd be hilarious. But, oh my God, what a catastrophe that would be, too. I picked Aljo to lose his belt. So many good fights coming up. I know. What's your favorite fight coming up, Niles? Is there a fight that you're particularly excited for that's going to happen? Maybe it's not necessarily official yet. I'm curious. What are you guys looking forward to in 2022? Because really, if you look at it, I think UFC 271. Let me take a look at this real quick. See if UFC 271. I think, do they have that announced yet or no? I don't think they have that announced yet. It's in February. Supposedly UFC 272 in March, I believe, is going to be Adesanya Whitaker too, which I'm really looking forward to that, honestly. Hope Sean wins he is way better for the division than Chiesa. Yeah, I'm not really hoping for either guy. What do you think of Umar versus Jack Shore? I absolutely love that matchup. We were actually for the members only now. We have a Discord chat, and if you guys want to become a member, the link is in the description. Among other benefits, we have a members only Discord chat. Once you join, you'll never be kicked out, even if you're not a member anymore or whatever. So if you guys want to join the Discord chat, we'll be messaging live during fight nights where I'm not streaming, and you can message me directly on there, give me video requests, whatever. But we were actually talking about that matchup, and I think it's kind of weird to have two prospects who are on the rise go against each other. The UFC kind of does some matchmaking where they try to build, but I love the matchup. I mean, Jack Shore's looked incredible, and so has Umar. I can't wait for that fight. I think it's a great fight. I'm probably going Umar, but it's going to be a very competitive fight, I believe. Movsar Evloev is coming for that belt. Yeah, he's got a fight coming up. I think that was the one on UFC 270. He's a very interesting guy. I mean, he looks so impressive. And what is he currently ranked? Let's see. He's ranked number 13 in the division. There's so many interesting guys at featherweight. I mean, Yair proves he belongs with the best. Giga Chikadze has proved he belongs with the best. Evloev, hasn't really proven it yet, but he's looked very impressive. You got Brian Ortega, Max Holloway, Alexander Volkanovski. Love the division. Arnold Allen making his way up. Should be incredible. Joey, are you excited for Conor versus Poirier 4 for the title in 2022? Going to be a great fight. Absolutely not. If they book that fight, if Poirier beats Charles Oliveira at UFC 269, and they book Conor coming back to get a title shot against Dustin Poirier, I am going to have an absolute meltdown on here. You guys are going to see me freak out because I'll be so mad. That'll be ridiculous. That'll be so stupid. And I really just believe that's not where the UFC should be going with the lightweight division. That's totally ridiculous, honestly. Egregious is the word I was looking for there. What's up, Sebastian? I hope you're doing well. Sure, for me, I think it's very competitive. Could go either way. I may change my pick. There's a new kid on the block named Mokaev, and he's going to take the UFC by storm. Yeah, I believe he's a flyweight, right? He just got signed with the UFC. He's 21 years old. Interesting prospect. A lot of people are excited about him joining the UFC. Topuria will become champ and challenge Sarukian for double champ status. We'll see. Evloev is fighting Topuria, so that's great. What fight that you are most excited about tomorrow? I know French fries. I'm most excited either Adriano Yanez versus Davy Grant or Chiesa versus Sean Brady. Probably Yanez versus Grant because I'm just very interested in Yanez. I said was a guy that I thought might be work his way to the elite status. So I'm interested to see how he does. This is a decent test for him. This is great matchmaking by the UFC. So I'm looking forward to that. But we will see. But either that or Chiesa versus Sean Brady. I love Chiesa versus Sean Brady. I think that's far better than the main event. And it's got that interesting dynamic of UFC veteran versus, up-and-coming prospect in Sean Brady. And I love to see that. What do you think of Dan Hooker hinting at a move to 145 in an interview if he can get down safely? I think that's the only place he has to go. I mean, 2 losses in a row. Well, not 2 losses in a row because he fought Nasrat. But, a knockout, getting knocked out by Michael Chandler, then getting submitted with ease by Islam. He's not making his way to that belt anytime soon. But, he had more success at 55 than he did at 45, I believe. But I'm not 100% sure on that without looking at it right in front of my face. Do you think guys like Charles Jourdain and Hakeem Dalladoo have anything left in the tank? It's hard to say, man. I don't think they're going to be hanging with the elite of the divisions. But you never know. There's plenty of career resurgence for them guys, to make their way there. But just right now, thinking about it, I mean, the divisions are just looking so good. I don't really see any of those guys making a crazy, push to become the elite of the elite. Your thoughts on Figueroa over Moreno 3? I'm very interested in that fight, actually. And the reason I find that fight so compelling, even though it almost makes no sense in a way, is because Figueroa got absolutely dominated in that second fight. And as far as I know, and I did not see this, so maybe I'm wrong, he has not made any excuses. For him to reaccept this fight so soon, in his mind, regardless if he told us fans or told the promoter, there is an excuse for why he got dominated in that fight, because he got dominated in all facets. So for him to take that fight so soon, he must be confident that he'll win, or at least confident that it's going to be different in some sort. So it makes me very intrigued. But just looking at that second fight, I got to go Brandon Moreno. But I was confident Deiveson Figueroa was going to win the second fight. That was one of my wrong championship picks for this year. So I wonder, he has to, in Deiveson's mind, he has to have an excuse. And I respect him for not saying it. He has to have an excuse for why he lost that fight. Didn't Hakeem fought Movsar? Yeah, I believe he did. I believe. Let me look that up, actually. I believe they did fight. I think he got dominated. Dalladoo versus... Yep, they did fight. UFC 263, they fought this year at UFC 263 in June. That seems like forever ago. See, I forgot that fight. I don't even remember all that happened. I think Ivalov dominated him in the grappling, if I remember correctly. But I could be wrong. Someone correct me in the chat if you remember. It's hard to remember all these fights. Thought on Gaethje, what's next for them? Thoughts on Islam versus Gaethje, what's next for them? I think Gaethje most likely fights the winner of Poirier versus Oliveira. And I think Islam should probably fight Beneil Dariush. I think that's what makes the absolute most sense if you're running it like a meritocracy. Just my opinion, Gaethje, I know he only has one win, but step in there on short notice and beat the brakes off of Tony Ferguson. Not only loss, but recent losses to Bibner Magomedov, former interim champion. Great fight over Chandler. Chandler was almost champion himself. I think, you know what, give him a title shot and let Islam fight Beneil in January this year. And if he wins, then he's next in line. It's the weight cut. That's why he struggled. Yeah, so who knows? Maybe he has a much better weight cut, and then we can really, see him come into this fight, much refreshed. He has a safer weight cut. Maybe he hires a nutritionist, and he looks much better because I picked him. I picked him to win that fight, and I was shocked that he got dominated by Brandon Moreno. But I really like Brandon Moreno. I'm pulling for him to win it, honestly. I mean, how can you not like Brandon Moreno? I love that clip where he says, it may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, it may not be next month, but one day I will be UFC champion. And since then, I think he was cut, and then he brought back, and then they were thinking about closing the division, and then for him to make his way back to that title is crazy. Beneil will be the replacement for Poirier Charles. Who wants to see that? I mean, I really want to see. I would be very disappointed if we get Poirier versus Beneil. Like, no offense to Beneil, he's a high-level guy, but I think the UFC would be making a mistake. I'd rather them cancel the fight altogether and rebook it. Dariush is kind of overrated in the ranking, ranked number 3, but didn't really beat anyone. He beat Tony Ferguson. Charles Oliveira beat Tony Ferguson to get a title shot, I believe. I don't think he fought anyone after that. So I think that's a quality win, but I get your point. I do get your point. It's not like he's ever went out there and looked so incredible. He just grappled, dominate Tony Ferguson, and that's not the most impressive thing nowadays is to grapple, dominate Tony Ferguson. Do you think Chandler is the worst matchup for Islam out of all the contenders? Let me take a look. I don't know. That's a tough question. I like these questions, man. Keep the questions coming. That's a great question. Thank you, Pine, for the great questions today. I really appreciate it. Also, if anybody's watching the stream and they're not subscribed, go subscribe to the channel. And also, even if you're subscribed to the channel and you haven't already, turn on notifications so you guys can get a notification every time I post a video. I would greatly appreciate it. It helps the channel. We're making our way. We're slowly creeping to 2,000 subscribers. So be one of the early supporters. I appreciate you all for being in this chat. Chandler, is he the worst matchup for Islam Makhachev? Most likely, I say yes, probably. Of the contenders. If I had to pick the absolute worst matchup, probably Oliveira, just because I think Oliveira could submit him off his back. But Islam can even beat Charles Oliveira, obviously. And also, I hate to say this. I know people are going to laugh at me, but probably RDA. And I know people are laughing because they're saying, RDA, he's got out-grappled in so many fights. But look at the guys he's fighting when he's being out-grappled. Usman, Covington. I think RDA is a good enough grappler to keep it on the feet. And again, anybody that can keep it on the feet with Islam, I said this about Kamaru Usman, anybody that can keep it on the feet with Islam is going to be trouble for Islam. His striking leaves a lot to be desired. Also, the reason I think Chandler's a bad matchup is just because of the power. Islam's entries is very sloppy. And if Chandler can catch him on the chin, can put him to sleep. Also, Chandler has good takedown defense. He has good wrestling in general. And also, he has very good jiu-jitsu. Look what he did on the ground with Charles Oliveira. Very, very impressive defense. And I really like Chandler's ability to stay out of submissions from Islam. Does Arnold Allen have a fight? I was at UFC 239 when he beat Gilbert Melendez. He's underrated technician in the division. I think he does have a fight, but I don't remember who he's fighting. I know I just seen him doing an interview recently. I wish I could remember, but now I can't. He's fighting Sadiq Yus. No, he's not. Apparently he does not have a fight, according to this. Not fought since April. Vettori versus Holland. So, I don't know. Guys, if you haven't already, do me a favor and click the like button. It helps push the stream out to more people, so I would greatly appreciate it if you do it, if you haven't done it already. Do you think Zingano has anything to offer against Cyborg? Absolutely not. She's going to get wrecked. Until Cyborg absolutely falls off a cliff as far as skill set, I think Zingano doesn't have a chance at all. Oliveira is clearly a nightmare matchup for Islam. My dream matchup for a long time was Khabib versus Charles Oliveira, long before Charles Oliveira was champion. I lost respect for Cyborg ever since she left after being dominated by Amanda. She's just catching a paycheck. Yeah, but there's nobody for her to fight really. It's the curse of the women's featherweight. So I don't blame Cyborg for that. It's just the curse of the women's featherweight. But Beneil and Sarukian are bad matchups for Islam. Beneil has a very underrated BJJ. Agreed. I think Beneil is a very interesting matchup. Sarukian he's already beaten. So I don't know, if you think Sarukian's improved enough to now catch a win, but I don't know. Davidson caught the flu during the hard weight cut. Okay. When you got Khabib in your corner, everyone's a bad matchup for you. Hold on, that doesn't really make any sense. You're a bad matchup for everyone is more like it, I believe. I'm going to put a poll in the chat, guys. I'm going to put a poll for tomorrow night's fights. What fight are you most excited for tomorrow? And we're going to go Tate versus Ketlen Vieira. Chiesa versus Brady. Or other. I'm asking you guys, go vote in the poll. I just put it in the chat. So if you guys could go vote in that poll, I would greatly appreciate it. Who do you have winning, Ngannou or Gane? That's a very tough fight to pick. I'm going to go Ngannou, but I can see Gane winning. I mean, I've seen Gane coming a mile away. I wish I had a YouTube channel from 2 years ago. I would have told you guys I saw Gane coming a mile away. I saw Piotr Jan coming a mile away. I know I'm bragging about something I necessarily can't prove, but I think Gane versus Ngannou is a pick'em fight. If there was heavy odds either way and you want to try to get some money, I would bet on the other guy, whoever is a heavy underdog. Best bets for Miesha versus Vieira card. I heard that, I'm not a big guy who looks at odds, but I heard that Chiesa is a heavy underdog or a decent underdog. So I would go with Chiesa. I think Chiesa wins that fight. So if you're looking for who I'm most confident in winning, let me take a look at the card again. What's crazy, I need to start betting. Last week I went, was it last week I think? I think it was last week. I went 5 for 5 on the main card. I did it on the live stream too. Because I didn't do prediction videos for everyone. Yeah, Adriana Yanez is a massive favorite, so I don't know if that's a good bet just because, yeah, there's a lot of pick 'em fights on this card, honestly. If I had to say my most confident pick, I think Michael Chiesa will win it, but a lot of people are picking the other way. So, I just think it's crazy Sean Brady hasn't beaten anyone, and everyone's picking him to beat Chiesa. What's crazy is Joanne Calderwood apparently got married, and her last name is now just Joanne Wood, which is mind-blowing to me. But Talia Santos is a heavy favorite. But I don't know. I think Joanne Calderwood is terrible striking. I don't like her striking at all. She's not really great anywhere. So I don't know. It's a tough one. Just voted right side of the car too. I don't know what we're talking about there. I chose other, but it switched to Brady Chiesa. What's your other one? Yeah, if you guys want to vote, just keep voting. I'll end it in a second. I feel like you say that every time, Sean. Do you remember when Iaquinta took Khabib to a 5-round decision? Yes, but he got dominated for all 5 rounds. We talked about it before. Damn, no respect for Brady. What is up, though, Joey? What's up, Anthony Veloci? Thanks for joining us. Calderwood is an underdog, a pretty big underdog. But Brady is my guy, of course. I think Brady can win. I think he just hasn't fought anyone of high level yet, and that's why it's hard for me to pick him over Chiesa. I did a full breakdown and prediction on the channel. Khabib was playing without. Yeah, I mentioned that earlier. Chiesa is too easy to sub. I picked Chiesa by sub, which is crazy enough, but I did point that out in the breakdown and prediction. What are your most confident predictions for UFC 269? Let me pull up UFC 269. I know basically what's on the card. Amanda Nunes is definitely going to win. I think, all right, I'm going to give you this is how much I appreciate you guys for joining the live chat, okay? I'm going to give you every pick on the main card for UFC 269 right now, or what I think is going to be on the main card because it's not ordered yet. And I've reserved the right to change my mind. When the fight weeks come, I may change my mind, but just because, these live streams are really for you guys who are the supporters, who are subscribed to the channel already. We do get some new people in here and there, but it's mainly for you, so I want to give you guys something a little extra special. So for UFC 269, I am taking Charles Oliveira. I am taking Amanda Nunes. I think Cody Garbrandt beats up Kai Kara France. I think Sean O'Malley beats Raulian Paiva. Jeff Neal versus Santiago Ponzinibbio. That is my most tough pick. And I'll probably go Jeff Neal in that fight. So there you go. I think, and Pedro Munoz versus Dominic Cruz, I think Pedro Munoz brutalizes the leg and wins the fight. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 picks for UFC 269 from me right there. Right there. I've reserved the right to change my mind as the fight gets closer and we learn new things. But I think those are all pretty safe bets. If Paiva is as durable as he looked in the Kyler Phillips fight, maybe he survives an early onslaught and walks down Sean O'Malley, but I highly doubt that. But I'm fairly confident in most of those picks, honestly. I'm going to end that poll. Let's see. Do you think Chiesa has what it takes to be a serious contender in welterweight? He was kind of already there in the fight against Luque, but I'm going to say no. I don't think he can beat Usman. I don't think he can beat Colby. I don't think he can beat Gilbert. He can't beat Vicente, I guess. He was looking good in that fight until he lost. So I'm going to say no. I think he's done, but I think he can beat Sean Brady and stick around the top 10. Now, if you consider that a top contender, then yes. The answer is yes. Yanez versus Grant is what I'm excited for. What do you know about them Texas boys? I'm very excited for Yanez versus Grant as well. Having my question got a poll. I have to stop by more when I can. Caught me at a good time. After 3 losses, what is next for Sandhagen? What is next? That's a very great. These questions are great. What is next for Sandhagen? I hope they don't match him up with Rob. That's a terrible matchup for him. Sandhagen. I wish they give him the winner of Rob Font versus Jose Aldo. If not, the winner of Pedro Munoz versus Marlon Moraes. Or Pedro Munoz versus Dominic Cruz. I'd love to see Sandhagen versus Dominic Cruz if Dominic Cruz still looks good. Nunes, O'Malley, Garbrandt, Neal, Poirier is my predictions. Okay. Hey, we appreciate it. I've been sub for a bit now. Just haven't shown my face in a while. That's going to change. Appreciate it. I think I've seen you occasionally before, Niles. I'm pretty sure, at least. He got knocked out by Joe Lozon. The Khamzat hype is real. I think we all pretty much know that after UFC 267. Nobody's going to disagree with you. Let's try another poll. Let's say something. What will Khamzat beat Usman? No, hold on. Beat champion, welterweight champ in 2022. Let's see if that comes through correctly. I hope it did. Guys, go vote in the poll. I asked about Khamzat Chimaev. I like doing these polls. I hope you guys like them as well. He got knocked out by Joe Lozon. As much as I like Sandhagen, I feel like he's overrated. I don't think Sandhagen is overrated at all. I think he's fighting some of the toughest matchups in the division. And, he beat TJ Dillashaw, in my opinion. I thought he clearly won that. Looks like a lot of you think Khamzat will be a champion in 2022. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. Do you guys like when I do these polls on the live streams? Let me know. I guess you do. Some of you guys are voting on them. Guys, don't forget to like the stream. Also, if you're looking for a way to support the channel, become a member of the channel down below. We have exclusive loyalty badges for the members. We have exclusive emojis for the members. French fries, throw them in the chat. We have a members-only Discord where we can message back and forth on fight night. So if you guys want to be a part of the members-only Discord, use the link down below and you can become a member. And also I post members-only content, like behind the scenes, what I'm working on, what I'm doing, different pictures of my setups. If you remember, you knew I bought this microphone before I announced it on the channel, stuff like that. And it's very cheap. It's just a way to support the channel. So if you guys want to become a member, the link is down below. If they keep giving Khamzat fights, he very well could be champion next year. I want to see Khamzat fight in December at UFC 269. I don't care who it is. Give him Neil Magny. Neil Magny seems to want that fight. I'd love to see him fight Neil Magny in December. So, I know there's talk about the Gilbert Burns fight in January, but I just don't see the UFC making that. As much as I love that fight from a competitor and contender standpoint, I just don't think the UFC makes it. If they... Maybe in early 2023, I think the top welterweight contenders won't take the fight and will be longer than needed. If they don't want to take the fight, then they forfeit it. I think they forfeit the chance. Give Sandhagen Chito. I wouldn't mind seeing that, and I think Sandhagen wins that fight. I don't feel like Sandhagen's overrated, though. To go back to that, I think he's one of the elite of the bantamweight division. Nobody's going to look super great against Petr Yan, but he looked good, and it was very competitive. I had Sandhagen win the Dillashaw fight as well. He outpaced him in the 5th and should have won that and won by, in my opinion. I agree. I don't remember which rounds I had what. I have a post fight on the channel where I talk about it. I think Sandhagen beat TJ Dillashaw, and I thought it was clear. Should Frankie Edgar retire after Chito KO? Yes, definitely. Maybe he'll move down to flyweight. It seems like when he starts to get in these losing patterns, down a division. So maybe he'll move down to flyweight. I am curious, though, if he does retire. I mean, he's getting up there in age. Let's see. How old is Frankie Edgar now? Frankie Edgar is 40 years old. He's not as old as I thought he was. But he's still getting up there in age. TJ 48-47, 3-4. Spinning back fist did not stun TJ at all in the 4th. I just think, I don't remember my exact thoughts, but all TJ did was just hold on to Sandhagen's waist. Sandhagen had the more efficient striking, controlled the cage for a lot of the time. I just thought it was I don't remember which rounds I gave what, but you know how that goes. It wasn't an outright robbery, but I thought Sandhagen clearly won. Who do you think is the most overrated fighter in each division? I think I went over this the other day, but I'm trying to think. Flyweight, I don't feel like there is someone that's overrated. Bantamweight, Sean O'Malley is the most overrated fighter at bantamweight. Just hasn't proven anything yet, and people speculate that he's so great. Featherweight, Bryce Mitchell probably. I think he gets too much, hasn't fought anyone yet, and hasn't fought in forever. Lightweight, Conor McGregor. Welterweight, probably Masvidal. Middleweight, Darren Till, but I don't know. That's kind of starting to end. Light heavyweight, probably Dominic Reyes, unfortunately. It was Johnny Walker a while ago. Heavyweight, Derek Lewis, without a doubt. Women's strawweight, maybe Michelle Waterson. I feel like a lot of people act like she's some world beater. I don't think she's all that good. Flyweight, I don't feel like anyone's really overrated. No one really projects them to be so good. Bantamweight, Juliana Pena. I don't think she has any chance to win the title. And people act like she's a legit contender. At least some people do. Not everyone. Do you have any fight of the year candidates after the last few UFC cards? I absolutely love Vettori versus Costa. I loved Gaethje versus Chandler. A lot of great fights. I'm gonna do like a top 5 at the end of the year. I'm gonna do a top 5 of my favorite fights of the year. It's gonna take me some work coming up with it though. Do you have any? Okay, he's at 125. Askarov overrated. You think so? I thought he's still rather good. Guys, I'm gonna go for like another 5 minutes. So do me a favor, if you have any more questions, put it in the chat. Greatly appreciate you joining me. I'll probably be streaming for UFC Vegas 43 tomorrow. Tate versus Vieira. There's some quality fights on the card, so I'm probably going to be streaming tomorrow. But if you have any more questions for tonight, leave them in the chat right now. One of my favorite fighters is Luke Rockwell. I know he is a local guy, but do you think Luke could be a top 5 middleweight fighter? Could beat a top 5 middleweight fighter? To answer your question, yes. I'm actually a big believer in Luke Rockhold, or was a big believer in Luke Rockhold, but I don't know how much he's diminished in the time off, getting older. But right now, I think he could beat... it's all about his chin. I mean, if he didn't have such a bad chin, I think he could beat Jarrett Cannonier. I think he beats Derek Brunson. Paulo Costa is going to be a tough fight for him. But I think he could be a top 5 fighter. And I think he has a short route to a title fight if he does get a win. And I would have picked Luke Rockhold to beat Sean Strickland. It's just a matter of how much did Luke Rockhold diminish in his time off. If Derek Lewis wins his next fight, who can you see him fight next? I don't think he beats Daukaus. I think Daukaus is very good. But maybe... I'd love to see that Alexander Volkov fight at some point, the rematch. After, him knocking him out in the 3rd round, I'd like to see those two guys rematch. But I think Derek Lewis is going to be one of those guys that ends up going to Bellator at some point and selling or drawing in some pay-per-views or some ratings just because of his name. But I don't think he's ever that great of heavyweight. The fighter in the division don't consider Conor overrated. They just consider him the money fight. Yeah, very true. Very true. Conor's just... I've always considered Conor overrated. And I know maybe that's an opinion. People think it's just because I'm a hater. But it's just the way that I felt throughout his reign. So, unfortunately, it is what it is. But that's just the way I feel. All right, guys. I will be live streaming UFC Vegas 43 tomorrow. If you haven't done it already, like the stream. If you also haven't done it already, go check out my prediction video for Miesha Tate versus Ketlen Vieira. And go check out my prediction video for Michael Chiesa versus Sean Brady. Make sure you like those videos as well. I appreciate them very much. If you joined me tonight, submitted a question, just watched and didn't say anything, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for watching and enjoy the rest of your night.